Hey, Stefan, I'm pretty good. How are you?
Good. Can I invest in your future? Just kidding. So let's just, I mean, there's a lot to talk about, and I appreciate you calling in. Let's go back a little bit. So you're obviously a smart guy, and did you notice this sort of standing out for you when you were younger? When did this hyperdrive kick in?
I don't know. I've always liked school, and I went to a private school, so like my parents always stressed education first, and like they never made a lot of money, so it'd be like, don't make the same mistakes we did, be better, take care of us, all that type of stuff. So like,
Wait, hang on.
To the game
That was quite a bit there, but that last one, take care of us.
Hello?
I mean, like, normal parent stuff, like when we retire, we want you.
I'm not saying that to my daughter. I don't know about normal parent stuff. I got my own money, thanks.
Most of the parents I know, that's the type of,
Might make
take
a
care of us
cut
type stuff
for this,
when
that
we're
way
older.
You don't see the full thing.
Okay, so they won the brain lottery? Is that the you gotta cash in, right?
They think they did.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, if you're you can get into medical school without
Fuck
even
off,
applying.
cough.
Can you listen? You don't have to tell me. Can you share your SAT score?
2120.
You know, you need a Sherpa to get up that high, don't you? Ooh, mountaineering joke. Sorry, that's pretty white of me. I apologize. I put that up front. All right. So, but how did you feel like in your community with these brains and all of that? How was it growing up for you? And I say this to everyone. I mean, it was tough for me sometimes with the muggles around me and all that. How was it for you?
Well, it wasn't until high school where I started to really notice the community. Like it was always through my family and like whenever they see me, how's school? You still getting 4.0s and like that type of stuff. But when I got to high school, I went to like a public school for the first time, and then at this school it was like 50% white, 50% black. But like SAT and grades, it was so disproportionate and like. The Asians and the blacks were doing, and the whites were doing so much better.
Okay, you just threw me off for a moment. The Asians and the blacks were generally at opposite ends of the spectrum. Okay, all right, so the Asians and the whites were doing better. Were there Hispanics at the school?
Yeah, a few, not enough to really go off of like what they got all together. It was more, like 5 or 4 or something like that. But
so are you saying the blacks weren't doing that well in the school?
Yeah, not at all.
And at the time, were you thinking culture? Were you thinking choice? Because Ben Shapiro talks about this stuff, and he says they're cultural decisions, right? I mean, like he points out, like in the 1960s, black illegitimacy was like 20%, and now it's like 73% or something. And it's not like there was no racism in America in the 1960s or whatever. So when you notice the difference between sort of the Asians and the whites and the blacks in your government school, public school, what was your thought process about that?
Well, I was always one of the kids who sit in class and just like look at the other kids doing like on their phones or talking during. It's like I don't know. Like most of the time I thought it was choice, but like, everybody tells me this is like a common thought that. Oh, it's about where they grew up and their parents didn't instill this into them. It's not their fault. But, like, I don't know. I kind of like half and half it,
And of course, since your parents did put these values of education and so on, you thought, well, if their parents don't care and my parents do care, that may be one of the differences, right?
I don't know. I was always a believer in like, I'd look at the kids whose parents were terrible, but they still ended up, super
Was
successful.
it that bad?
And I'm like, I don't
I'm
think
sorry.
it's stress education. I still think.
But not the formal kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
Zerg.
Is that, I don't want to overcharacterize your
just
family,
played
them, I
Tyrion.
don't.
Like,
But
I think
is that a
Zerg
fair
is
way to
probably
put it?
my worst.
Yeah, okay.
I think my best bet is probably to go
thought about
CC
this,
first into 6
this
racks,
today,
get a
and I
big
thought about
army
this, Mark, and I
push, and if I don't win,
when I
just drop
I'm
the
a
fuck
smart
out
guy
of it.
and well educated
Like,
and
these are my options,
reasonably
really.
successful.
These are
But I
Terran
never really
options,
thought,
really. If
and
you
people
let
never
Zerg
said,
get to 3 base and then just
well, you
say,
now
he's not really
represent
aggressive,
the white race.
I guess I'll go to 4 base and then just
that
go
is,
high.
there are certainly some things where I
because,
think
like, as soon as
different
ultras get
racial
out,
experiences are
you're
overblown.
done.
But in
It's
this
over,
one,
son. Like there's no coming back.
And there's a bunch of reasons for it. I think
you're done. You
but
done messed
do you
up.
feel like you're sort of like you are like
the
the rep, like the representative of like now you've got a model for, or you've got a
there's no
the
real
sort of blacks.
good composition. Zergs are pretty good at getting corruptors.
Out in front, and this is what people are going to see, and you've got to behave accordingly. Is that how it's coming across to you?
Absolute nightmare, especially for someone
now in high school, definitely. I always had that mentality.
Pros aren't doing it. So
I'm going to show these people that like not all black people are getting in trouble on their phone. And
for this,
but like I feel okay when that's coming from me, but I hate when like higher leaders try to like put that on me and say this is what you're supposed to do because we need this, and we know. So I guess for me personally,
I'm not good enough to be
I think there is sometimes this notion that, or I feel that I need to represent, but not to the extent that.
not in the East Coast, West Coast rap battle sense. You got to represent like break some of the stereotypes that are certainly there, right?
I like to get a really fast gas when I'm doing this.
I mean, just if you can share, like the leaders, you said leaders come to you and say you got to do this, you got to do that.
This is one of the
what is it that they're saying, and how do they even approach you?
Well, okay, so
is it through church? I don't know if you're religious or not, but
definitely church though. That was a thing growing up, but. Like when I got older, it became like different volunteer events and different programs I was in. Cause like I was in a lot of different programs. I went to in 9th grade. I went to this Black Male Leadership Institute, and that's where it was like I finally realized how bad it was. It was like like our race needs this, you need to do this. If you have the ability, then that's what your job is. And it was like.
It's sort of like being drafted or something,
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
You've got really great eyesight and a steady trigger. You've got to go and shoot. Okay. Do you know, like, Mike just looked this up. Mike, do you want to... Mike, sorry, have you ever had your IQ tested?
Me?
Upgrade.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I haven't.
Do you want to know what your
Not enough minerals.
SAT score translates to an IQ?
Sure.
Not enough minerals.
Mike, would you like to share?
Approximately 150.
Ooh!
Not enough minerals.
That is some seriously top of the peak IQ, man.
Wow.
Not enough
Mike,
minerals.
give him some percentages.
Top 99.949%.
Not enough minerals.
So that's one in a very, very tiny number,
Not enough.
right? And if some of the race and IQ stuff is true, then that's rarer still, right? I mean, so
Not
you are
enough
like...
minerals. Not
I'm going to have to start
minerals.
using big words. I mean, that's all I can tell you.
Okay.
What do you think of
Not
that?
enough minerals.
150.
I think that might be a little far, but
Why? Come on, why not? Why not?
just by SAT standards, like I have to actually take the test.
Okay, maybe. And Mike, where does the genius IQ kick in? I think it's there.
Not enough minerals.
Like, I think it's lower than that. I
Not
can't
enough
remember exactly what
minerals.
it is, but I think it's below
Not
150.
enough
Isn't
minerals.
120 the cutoff to where you can pretty much do any job that you want to do?
I've heard two sides of that story, but if you can just have a
Not
look at
enough
what IQ
additional
is considered to be
supply depots required.
genius.
All right, I will get that for you.
Not enough minerals. Insufficient Vespine
That's
gas.
that's great, man.
Insufficient Vespine
That's
gas.
really good. I hope you're gonna have a lot of kids. That's all I'm saying. If you got to go in, I hear if you're a rapper, that helps. So if you got to do that, you can certainly do the rhymes, right?
Additional supply depots required.
Okay, apparently
Additional supply depots
above
required.
average is 115 to 129. Gifted is 130 to 144. Genius is 145 to 159.
Do it. You're bona fide genius, man. Just tell me. It's something. Yeah, it's cool. That's very cool. Very cool. And I'd say good for you, but it's like saying to a tall guy, good height. It's just
are under attack.
hopefully we'll use it for all the right things. Okay.
Add-on
So,
complete.
what is it that the leaders, right, the leaders in your community do? What is it that they want you to do? I mean, if they give you sort of like the project list, the action
Not
plan,
enough
what is on
minerals.
that?
See, like, that's the
enough
thing. That there was never like a
enough
list of
minerals.
things or like help in this area, and that's why I mentioned that I want to go and help politics because most of the time it's just I have to be an advocate for like racism and white supremacy.
Vespine guys.
I think you mean an advocate for anti-racism and anti-white supremacy, because otherwise that might be an entirely different kind of show. Because you're brilliant and because you're ambitious and you're obviously going to end up very accomplished in your life, they feel that you have to use those abilities to work against white racism. Is that right?
Yeah, basically.
And the white racism, I assume, is
Complete.
it's just
weird.
like it's like gravity.
My
like
natural
it's just a
is
fact.
not
Like, doesn't have to be
at all
proven. It's just a
saturated,
fact of
and that
nature.
is
Like, I
such a
would be a
problem.
racist or any other. We would say it's institutional or unconscious or whatever it is. But the white people in this view, just racists, pretty much, no matter what, right? I shouldn't say. Is that the
Additional
approach?
supply depots
I guess
required.
it'd be more accurate to say white privilege instead, and just
Additional supply
like
depots
being the guy
required.
who makes sure that black people aren't discriminated against and
Additional
have the
supply
same
depots.
equal opportunities like that.
And okay, so how do you do that?
I have no idea.
Okay, because I was getting
Not enough
because you could of course,
Not
and a
enough
lot of black
minerals.
politicians do this, right? A lot of black people do this. I don't have any particular issue with it. It's just a basic fact that a lot of successful black people will go out and, like the black politicians, will appoint black people to positions of power, and black business owners will probably try to hire, some will certainly try to hire more blacks and so on. And, it can show up in more subtle ways.
Not
I guess
enough
before his
minerals.
recent challenges in
Not
PR,
enough
like Bill Cosby and his show,
Yeah.
like all of his, all of this, right? All of the stuff in the background was all black artists, and
Not
his sweaters were knitted by black grandmothers or something like that. But so is it that you're supposed to become
Not
successful and
enough
then
minerals.
hire or encourage people to hire
enough
blacks? Or I'm trying to sort of,
Not
again, I know
enough
you don't know. I'm
minerals.
just like, if we can guess, if we
Not
can,
enough
I feel like an
minerals.
archaeologist or something trying to figure out hieroglyphics. But what is supposed to happen?
Man, I really just think it's.
Upgrade complete.
I don't know. I think it's just. I think maybe it's more like
Not
they're
enough
looking at the
minerals.
problems with black youth now and knowing there needs to be some type of change to where more black kids in college or more black kids with better jobs, and they want someone like a leader or mentor to be able to push those kids further. And so they're like, if you're smart, then you can help other people be smart too.
Right. Just before, a thought just struck me, and I don't want to imply I wasn't listening. It just like literally, again, I get gassy. I get thoughts.
Mineral field
Was
depleted.
your was your SAT score adjusted?
Adjusted for race?
Research complete.
Yeah.
Nah, I think it was just straight SAT score.
Not additional
Okay,
supply
yeah, good.
depots required.
Good. Okay, fair enough. And listen, I mean, I can. It will come across like I really know the black experience, but I can really understand, of course, if you've got a community wherein the young men
Not enough.
are not doing well, and of course a lot of the young women are not doing that well, then of course, and of course, if the answer is
Research.
Oh, what the hell?
white racism, white privilege, whatever it is, right? Then I can,
Not
if the
enough
blacks are
minerals.
the same as the whites, but the blacks are doing badly, then, and if the whites are in charge, so to
Not
speak, then it
enough
must be the
minerals.
fault of the whites, and there must
Not
be
enough
some way of
minerals.
equalizing. Like, with all of those
Upgrade
assumptions, I
complete.
can sort of understand, I can really understand where they're coming from, and that they want to hold you up and saying, look, this is what a young black man can be like, and you're going to break some stereotypes, you're going to, I don't want to say icebreaker because that's a pretty white metaphor. You're going to blaze the trail. You're going to, cut your way through and undergrowth, and then people that you're going to clear a path, and other people are going to be able to follow, and you're going to be an example. Again, am I sort of in the ballpark with this kind of stuff?
I think that's exactly it.
Okay.
But that's why in my question I said obligation, because like I understand that, and even though I'm going to help politics, I could see myself having a strong political
What is
viewpoint
going on? Why am I?
certain
Why
matters,
is my
but
frame just absolutely
it
getting
seems like
tanked right
from
now?
other
That's
people
really
outside,
weird.
it's
Never
like
had
a.
that.
That's why I said
Not enough
obligations. Like
minerals.
it feels like this is what you need to do because we need help. And if I'm like, say I
Not
wanted to be an
enough
accountant
minerals.
and just handle money and that's it, I'd be ridiculed for not, contributing to my race. And that's why I wanted your opinion on. Do you think it's an obligation?
Well, no, we'll get to that. I just, but I don't know if you're a young guy, right? I mean, what does OJ mean to you other than a tasty drink in the morning,
Oh,
right?
come
But
on. What is
I
happening?
watched
That is
this
unacceptable right now.
series. I think it's on FX. The People versus O.J. Simpson. And, you know, O.J., of course, was this incredible black athlete and a movie actor and a spokesman or a pitchman for a bunch of different companies and all that, Hertz in particular. And, you know, of course, he was accused of this double murder. And the jurors in the murder trial were going to go to his house. And, you know, according to the documentary, and I think it's pretty... not according to the series, which is dramatized with some... The guy who plays Johnny Cochran is fantastic. Anyway, the acting is top-notch. But anyway, they take the jurors over, and...
What is going on?
But before they come over, Johnny Cochran, who's the black lawyer, who's one of the stable of top-notch lawyers who I think he spent $10 million on defending himself or whatever, he goes over to O.J. Simpson's mansion. Of course, O.J. Simpson was married to a white, blonde woman, and he had pictures of himself with his white golfing buddies, and he had like all this... It was white people everywhere, and Johnny Cochran is like, no. And because they had a lot of black women and I think a black man or two on the jury, and so he basically had O.J. Simpson's house scrubbed. And he brought in all this African art. And where there was a picture of a naked white woman over his bed, he put up a picture of his mother. Like, you know, like he had to really redo O.J. Simpson's house from top to bottom. Everything about it. So that he wouldn't look whitish, or that he just went off and had his career and wasn't sort of tied into going back and mentoring the black community and so on. And I mean, there is that aspect, right? And again, it's a very, very different experience. For me, like, you know, nobody said to me, okay, Steph, go off and be successful, but make sure you circle back and pick up the disadvantaged white kids in your trail. Was that, I never had that particular ethic, but I can completely see where people are coming from where you are, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And now, so they want to go into politics, right? Is that right?
Yeah.
And like run for office and all of that. And what do they... I think I know the answer to this one, but let me know. What do they think you can do in politics? Because you could be prominent in 6 million different fields, right? But if they're choosing politics in particular...
This is so strange.
Why do they want that? Like, they don't say, listen, you know, go be a prominent businessman, go be, you know, a great actor, or whatever it is, right? I mean, politics, that's the thing. Why?
Mineral field depleted.
Like I said before, I don't know. There's like no list, but I just know some of the things that it's more just like, as long as black people are bad at things, we need somebody to help them be good at it. And like,
no, I get that, but why is the good thing politics?
I think because politics deals a lot with race relations and, you know, how rules are made and things like that.
Yeah, but I mean, as far as I know it, I mean, there are no racist laws in America left, right? So it's not like there's, you know, you got to overturn Jim Crow the sequel or something, right? So I have a theory, and maybe I should just stop being coy, you know, swinging my purse and just, you know, rip off my blouse. As people were disappointed I didn't do at the end of the Hulk Hogan video, but maybe he'll do something else I can do. But my guess would be that politics is redistribution, right? I mean, politics is where politics is the power to take money from one group and give it to another, right?
Yeah.
And maybe they feel that you can get a lot more money to the black community through politics than you can through any other field.
Additional supply depots.
So, but when you say money, do you mean just like straightforward redistribution, like you guys are poor, we need to get you to middle class, or?
Well, what I mean is you can get you could get preferential laws passed, like, you know, affirmative action laws and so on. You could get those extended. You could get rules passed that a certain amount or more government spending has to go to black-owned businesses. You could you know, get more resources going to particular schools and so on. Because if you go into business, then the money that you create will be yours, and they have to go and ask you for it. But if you go into politics, then you get this massive power of the state to redistribute money. And I'm guessing that, you know, these guys are pretty smart at what they're doing. I'm guessing that what they think is that if you go into politics, Mark, you'll be able to get more resources to the black community than any other single field.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. So...
What?
I think
I hack? How would I hack?
I think that's using you. I think that's
What would
basically
I be
treating you as a beast of
hacking?
burden.
What did I even
I
do
hesitate
that
to
was
use another term,
remotely
but
hacked?
I think that's kind of using you. Like, hey, you've got these great abilities, so you need to go to the government to go and get his money and advantages. I don't think that's for you.
What?
I think that's for them.
Why would I? Oh, look, I played like shit. Look, I've got a huge fucking.
And I don't think
shit.
that's.
Like,
I don't
what
think
was
that's right.
remotely suspicious about
The
what I
one thing
did?
is,
I was lagging.
Like it's different when it comes from other black people that have already been successful or
Like,
are in politics themselves.
I just
and
went
then
6
it's
racks
still the
Marines
same
and pushed,
message.
and you went Banelings and
Our people need help.
Zerglings.
You
Lost
since you're
your
good at it,
third.
since you're smart, you have to be the one to help
it's
them.
kind of.
And it's like
It's a
from people that
ridiculous assertion.
that need help. That's kind of like expected.
So they're asking you.
I mean, he let me do
They're
whatever
asking
I
you.
wanted.
Sorry
so
to interrupt. They're
I'll go
asking you
4
to
bases,
think
I
of race
guess,
first
and
and foremost,
pumped
and to guide your
army
life
on 4
entirely
bases.
on principles of race.
Like got up to 8 racks and just shut.
And
you
they're also
down,
asking
is what
you
I did.
to put black
You
people
just
first
didn't answer.
at
I
the
don't know.
expense
That's weird. I don't know why he said that.
of non-blacks.
You saw the
right?
game.
'Cause,
I don't know
you
how.
know, obviously
I don't know
they're
how
not
I possibly have
putting
hacked.
you into push.
Messaged me again. He said he watched the replay and that now I'm a confirmed hacker. And now he's ignoring me. What? What did I even do that was remotely suspicious? He won't even talk to me. He won't even talk to me about it. He will not talk to me. Like, in order for him to think that I was a hacker, there's only there's like one thing I know, and that's like a map hack. And so what he would be doing is, like, when I paused, he would say, okay, where's his camera? Or like during the game, where's his camera? My camera was never on his base. Like, I wasn't just staring at his base. I wasn't just like seeing. There was nothing in the game that was remotely hacky. I was just like, this dude isn't doing anything. He's locked his base because he tore down the rocks, and then I tore down my. I'm like, okay, dude, you've said, hey, I'm not being aggressive, so I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna go 4 base. Why would I not? If you've got your rocks down, you're not gonna be pushing out anywhere. Not until mutas. Mutas don't come until late, so I prepared for mutas. I mean, it was obvious he was going to go mutas. Like, that's common sense. So this guy, on the basis of that, thinks that he went 4 bases because I didn't attack. He must have hacked. Also, he's building turrets. He didn't see my lair. Dude, you shut out all avenues for ground attacks. You're only gonna go air and do damage and harass. That's why I built the turrets, because it makes sense. Oh, he's locked down his bases. He's preparing for a late game scenario. This dude's going mutas. It's obvious. I could have been wrong, but I wasn't. And it's not like in the game, he can see. Like, my camera isn't just hovering over his lair, or his what's it fucking called? The fucking thing that makes mutas. His spire. I didn't see a spot. I never looked at his base and saw a spire with my camera. So this guy's just fucking butt mad. Like, he played bad and threw units into an army, had horrible baneling connections, never really did any kind of aggression to stop me. He should have noticed that I was blocking those expansions earlier. He should have gone up to 4 bases way earlier. Like, that was a really late 4th. And this is another stupid thing. Why did he try to take that gold base? Why was he expanding towards me? That made no sense. You never expand towards a Terran, you always expand away. Because if I can expand towards you and have a direct attack path towards the Zerg, because Terran's the aggressor, it makes no sense. This guy played really badly and he's butt mad, so I just wanted to make a comment about that, because the last thing I'm going to do is be called a hacker. I've had times where I was kicked out of a tournament because I was called a hacker. The dude was a buddy of the dude hosting it, and he got me kicked out. Even though if you literally just look at the fucking replay, you can tell I'm not map hacking. And that's the only thing that this guy could be talking about, is the fact that he thinks that I saw he went muted and I just preemptively prepared for it. It's a load of nonsense. It was obvious, dude. GG.